Good night and welcome to the final match of the CWI Women's T20 Blaze. Round number 3, match number 3 is Leeward Islands taking on Guyana, Soneldo Willett and Shemaine Campbell, the two captains. I believe Guyana home team for this one. Tails is the call. It's the tail. All right, so Leewards, Soneldo, you've won the toss. What do you plan to do here tonight?
We're going to have a bat first.
All right, now, I know it's not necessarily been the best of starts to this T20 Blaze for you guys. What are you hoping, I guess, that your team could do right tonight?
Yes, I'm confident that we will do better in this game, and we had a discussion. We decided to bat first, to put some ones on the board and come from behind with a fight.
Well, thanks for that, Soneldo, and good luck here tonight. Shemaine, no, before we get to talking about the game, I see that you're wearing a black armband. And can you just tell myself and the viewers out there why you're wearing the black armband tonight?
Obviously I'm wearing this black band because of the tragic accident that happened back home in Guyana with the 20 students that we lost. So I think it's a mourning time period for us now, and we just come together and the president declared that everyone should mourn for at least 3 days. So yeah, so.
All right, well, you guys lost your toss here tonight. You're going to have a bowl first. How do you feel about that?
Obviously, we was planning to have a bowl as well because over the couple of games we bowl have been doing pretty good for us. So it's just for us to come out here tonight and play ourselves and just get some quick wicket and put the pressure on Leeward early.
Thanks a lot, Shemaine. Well, that's news from the toss. Leewards, they've won it, and they're going to start here with a bat.
Let me go in here.
No.
A B? What do you mean?
Alright, see? B.
I think right hand, they're coming right arm over the wicket.
Okay. Campbell.
Good night.
Good night.
Middle.
That's middle snap. I touched to you for off. Off snap. The bowler is going to be right arm over to you.
Kimberly Anthony.
No. Oh, see, fix it. You should open that door more.
Ladies, let's play. White ball.
Good night and welcome to the final match of round 3 in this CWI Women's T20 Blaze. It's a contest between Guyana and the Leeward Islands. Leeward Islands, they won the toss, and opted to bat first. Opening the batting for them, Melissa Clark and Kimberly Anthony. And with ball in hand, it is Shabika Gajnabi.
Yes, and good evening, Joel. Good evening to listeners. The Leewards, of course, winning the toss and opting to take first strike here this evening. It's a good drive there by Clark for a single. But probably we could take a look at the teams. Joel?
Well, in terms of the Leeward Islands, Soneldo Wildit is the captain for them as per usual. Amanda Edwards, Therese Parker, Jennison Richards, Roselle Leibard, Melissa Clark, Tinetta McCoy, Kimberly Anthony, Devana Claxton, Jazara Claxton, and Divya Saxena make up the 11 for the Leeward Islands here tonight. It was interesting that at the toss, after winning it and seeing that they would bat, having the conversation with the skipper Soneldo Willett, and she made reference to the fact that they want to be extremely positive here tonight.
Well, they need to be positive. They have not won any match in this year's tournament, neither the Super 50 or the T20 Blaze. They just got the 2 points in the Super 50 in a match which they shared points with, I think it was, I'll get that confirmed in a moment, but they finished bottom of the table in the Super 50, and at the moment they are yet to pick up a point. Of course, as you mentioned, we are into the final match of today's play. We had 2 games completed previously. This is day 3 of the T20 Blaze, and of course this will continue on Thursday and end on Saturday.
Yeah, a combination of spin and pace to get things started for Guyana. It's going to be Plafiana Millington to start things from that Lozak road end.
Leewards 2 for no loss. We're in over number 2, winning the toss and batting.
Oh, yeah,
Looking to take advantage of these power play overs. We're just 2 fielders outside of the circle. The results have not gone their way in terms of Leewards, but there have been some signs from individual performances across the Super 50 and this T20.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's just a case of collectively coming together and all performing on the same day for them.
Full energy, girls.
Cool conditions here at Warner Park.
And of course, we have seen a bit of lightning in the distance in the southern section of Bastia, and we are hoping that the weather stays good.
Come on, girls. Come on, girls.
So
Work, girls.
we had 2 matches earlier today.
Come on, girls. Come on.
Joel, TNT versus Windwards. And Windwards, of course, being bowled out for 59 from 17.4 overs. Sorry, TNT bowled out for 59.
Well, she gets that one. Should get pretty close to the boundary. Hits that rope now, the first boundary for the Leeward Islands, and that probably is the intent that the skipper was talking about at the toss tonight.
Yes, a good shot, straight, rather straight over the bowler's head into the long off position, and a good shot there by Anthony. Powerful looking built batter. So Leewards, as you said, showing intent.
Oh, yes. That's you.
But as I was saying earlier, Joel, we had 2 matches. TNT being dismissed for 59, and we have had a number of low scores in this tournament so far. Windwards winning that match, just replying 62 for 3.
Yeah. Run out.
A single picked up there by Anthony. And Leewards would move on to 18 over number 2. And of course, we had Jamaica coming up against Barbados. Jamaica scoring 98 for 4 from the 20 overs. And Barbados winning that match. Just losing the 1 wicket and completing that victory in 16.5 overs. And this, of course, being the final match for today. But, as you rightly said, the Leeward Islands batters so far showing some intent. And I'm sure they'll be looking to get a good score and put on a good showing here this evening.
Looking to take first use of the conditions, as you mentioned. 2 games played here already today. This morning, the surface was a bit tacky. The ball was coming onto the bat quite slowly, but as the sun has caked it, as the day has gone on, the ball's come onto the bat a lot better. And you certainly expect, especially now here at night, the ball travels through the air a lot quicker. The surface probably in the best it would be in terms of the 3 matches. So good conditions for batting here at Warner Park. Can they capitalize on them? Can they double down on that decision that they made on the toss?
Well, at least that's a positive decision there by the Leewards, winning the toss and batting, taking first knock. And of course, not taking a back seat. Probably the best match the Leewards would have had in this tournament so far would have been against Guyana when they lost that match by just a single. But here's a good shot, Joel, through mid-wicket. They should get at least 2. And the running is showing more intent. They're looking for the second run. This has been one of the shortcomings of the Leeward Islands over the matches they've played so far, the running between the wicket.
Well, the skipper mentioned the conversation that the team had before coming here today. She didn't tell me the exact details of that team conversation, but the gist of it was one that kind of put a pep in their step, hopefully, in terms of what they're looking to do here tonight. Oh, that was a chance. A sharp one. You would have to say Gajnabi a bit disappointed with herself. She certainly prides herself on her fielding. A sharp chance there, a half chance, you would have to say, goes a begging.
Powerfully struck, though, by Anthony. And Ghaznabi is still wringing her fingers. And she certainly would have felt that one.
Oh, she gets that. And this one is also put down. So 2 chances in 2 balls. Leeward Islands, they're riding their luck. 3 gone. It's 12 without loss.
Yes, Grimond, missing what looked like an easy chance. It was just slightly to her left. She got both hands to it. And Shanita Grimond put down Clark. And Guyana not holding on to their chances. 2 chances going down in that particular over. One from Anthony, and then Clark giving a chance to Grimond, who is at deep mid-on, and she failed to hold on.
So both openers put down in that over. How much will they make Guyana pay for that mistake? Still in the power play overs. Fielders out long off and a deep mid-wicket.
Catch it!
Add 1 more to the total.
I get the impression, though, Joel, that the Leeward Island batters, they are looking to go over the top and probably utilize the power play and try and pick up as much runs as they can.
Oh, that is a good hit. That's a great hit. That's a boundary.
Well, the cheers go up from the Leeward Islands camp, and certainly they've started well. 13 for no loss. In the first match against the Windies, they were 19 for 7. And in fact, it's 17 for no loss, and this has been a very good start by the Leewards.
Tries to go again, swings across it, and pays the price of her wicket. So the first one down for the Leeward Islands. Success for Millington.
Well, they always tell you that once you bowl straight and the batter misses, you're in with a chance of getting a wicket. That one was on the stump, and Anthony was going across the line of that one, missed it, was struck in front and given out leg before by Labar at the far end. So Leeward Islands losing their first wicket, and they still have to be careful here, though. It has been a positive start, but they could get carried away and could see themselves losing wickets quickly. But certainly positive intent shown. That's the key thing.
I guess the thing about any Leeward's case, and I say this in inverted commas in the sense of I don't think there's anything for them to lose, given in terms of how people have already started to write them off in terms of the tournament, the fact that they've not gotten any wins. And they've pretty much come out here with all to play for, essentially. And if it is that the strategy is to go all guns blazing to the end, even if, let's say, and I'm not saying that this will happen, let's say they get bowled out for 50 doing that, you can at least say that they attempted to go with the plan that was set for them, given that they've also been bowled out for that type of a score, batting differently already.
Certainly, as I mentioned earlier, in an earlier match, they were 19 for 7, and they managed to get to 68 for that same 7 wickets. So this is a much better start for them. And as you rightly said, we have seen a number of low scores in the tournament so far. So if they could continue and put something reasonable on the board, who knows?
Oh, that's cheeky. That skill shown. Won't get to the boundary. But 2 more for Divya Saxena. 4 gone. It's 21 for 1.
Yes, a good shot there by Saxena. Just steering it down to was it 3rd man boundary, and gave Sherry-Ann Fraser a long chase for a slip, and they were able to pick up 2. But I like what I'm seeing here from the Leewards. They certainly, they've come out, they have started well, they're showing a good intent, and from their 4 overs, they're going at a good rate, 5.25, 21 for 1.
A bit of a change up there from Gajanabi. And even though I mentioned that a lot of people have written them off in terms of when they think about the Leeward Islands, in terms of looking at the performances, not just in this tournament over the years, they say, you know what, people, and I say this once again quite respectfully, say, well, you consider that 3 points. I do know, though, that there's a lot of support for them as well, because I've been looking at the streams and I've been seeing the comments there, the love and support for them. I know that as a team, they really want to do well also, because I don't think at any stage any of them really enjoy losing either. So in terms of this approach here today, whether or not it works for them or doesn't work, I like the fact that they're still willing to give that effort, still willing to show that heart, still willing to show fans that they've come to, you know, give a great showing of themselves.
Oh, yes, certainly. But we still have to bear in mind too, Joel, that these Leeward Island players, they would not have had much exposure. There's not a lot of female cricket going on around the Leewards, and just maybe a couple weeks before the tournament, they would have come together, have a little tournament, and selected a team. So, you know, the resources are not great in the Leewards in terms of women cricket, and you know, this exposure could only help the female cricket in the Leeward Islands going forward.
One person I certainly know will be key as well to the efforts is the young lady at the crease, Divya Saxena. Every time she's come out there, she's looked positive, she's shown intent, she's looked to find the gaps. Hasn't always worked for her. Tonight though, who knows what could be the case.
She has had one very good score already, 44 in the Super 50 against the Windies from a total of 59. So she does have the potential to do well. And that over number 5 comes to an end. It's 22-1 the Leewards.
Yeah, you mentioned that performance, and it goes back to what I was saying a little earlier in terms of the fact that in the case of the Leeward Islands, in almost every match, there has been at least 1 or 2 players that have stood out for them. It has really just become a case of not enough players showing up at the same time, and I think that is what is going to take them over the edge. Beautiful pictures there of the harbour, and yeah, probably maybe the ferry's still running at this time.
A water taxi.
Oh, a water taxi then.
Yeah,
Travel
to the
some
peninsula.
miles to the
Yeah.
peninsula.
That's right. Takes about 5 minutes across to Nevis.
Well, a change in bowling is going to be Ashmini Munasar into the attack. Now, more spin, more trial by spin for the Leewards. And she starts with a dot, the skipper of the West Indies under-19 side.
I must dare say a very positive start by the Leeward Islands. We have not seen this in any of the games that they've played, and the closest they came was against Guyana. And putting themselves into position to win, but not having the experience, not having the attitude, they simply fell away. 23-1, in my view, is a rather good score.
Oh, come for it. Good.
Munisa, of course, operating from the Lozak Road end, and I saw Melissa Clark play a shot a while ago, and she was crossing. If she had missed it, she would have been LBW, and I hope Jay Davis one that's played down to mid-wicket. They don't want to get over ambitious. Yes, they have had a good start, a couple of boundaries here or there, and they seem to be. Do not let this get to their heads. You have to be able to still be reasonable and work this thing until the 20 overs are over.
Well, you say that, but in my head, I'm from the school of keep going. That's how I see it here right now. It is a case of just simply keep going, you know, and not necessarily being reckless, but just continue on the trend in terms of not necessarily looking to say, well, let's pull it back now because we've got that start. Let's settle into maybe trying to form a partnership or anything of that nature. Just playing everything on its merit as we've seen so far. Power play done. It's 24-1.
6 overs completed. I looked at Melissa Clark again, and she seemed to have a shot that punches you through cover or extra cover, and when she seemed to play too close to her, and there's an element of risk, you know, when she does that. She waits for it, she stands up straight, and she punches. But when it's too close to her, she still goes through the shots. And I think shot selection is important. You cannot give a good start away. And Leewards, in my view, having a good start, we want to see them continue.
Well, Chanel Grimman comes in now to the attack from this media center end. I'm going to be cheeky to that comment you made and say without risk, there is no reward. And they're looking for rewards here tonight, the Leeward Islands.
Here's Saxena hitting one to square leg. And, the ball is being chased. They take one. There's a second one. And this has been the improvement in the Leeward's attitude of late. They're turning for 2 and sometimes attempting 3. And this, in my view, is an improvement in the way they view their game and the way they have approached this one.
Well, making a change now in the field, reinforcing that leg side. There, it has produced quite a few runs so far for the Leeward Islands. She got a good connection on that one, but can't get it past. Munisar at mid-off.
Yeah, when you put someone on the onside, it means that you have taken one from the offside. And so therefore there is room somewhere else for the ball to be hit. And of course the batters have to be mindful of this. And of course there's a big gap over, there's a short extra cover. And if she will aim, she may have to go over that area. To avoid the extra cover, she must go over.
Oh, yes.
Melissa plays right back
Come on, girls.
to the bowler. She's a tall, athletically built young lady. She has not had good opportunities here. I thought she was a bit unfortunate in a few games I've seen. There she's sparring at one outside the off stump, and of course that one should have been allowed to go through. A little bounce from the off spinner. They have to be careful. There's one that pops over. There's a mid-pitch conversation between both batters, and that's rather healthy in my view. She saw something that Melissa may not have seen, and therefore she warned her. She retakes her guard.
Come on, Graham.
And I don't think that's what she told her. But of course, we took her guard. Here is Grimond once again. Good forward defensive. That's okay, sir. Grimond, of course, having only delivered 3 balls, 3 runs already.
Oh, stop that.
Plays
Good.
it back to Grimond.
Come on, girls.
A good effort here by Leewards as we ended the 7th over. I remember in the 7th over a few games ago, they were about 17 for 7 or 19 for 7. And of course, this is quite an improvement in the attitude, in the intent to score. Leewards have putting themselves in a good position against the Guyana team.
Come on, Ash.
Yeah, in terms of this stage, it's pretty much on par with a lot of the power play scores that we've seen and 7-over scores that we've seen in this tournament. It represents a decent start and a decent platform for them.
One struck down to the long on boundary by Saxena. Single. Saxena, of course, is one of the more successful batters for the Leeward Islands. And of course, she led the way in a few games. One in particular where she made 44 out of just over 50.
Stop that. Yeah, give me.
Melissa tucks this one down to a shot. Oh, that's one. The ball cannon into the stumps. Good feeling.
Working, girls. Keep
They were
working,
home for
girls.
the single. And of course, they are really improving
Keep
as
going,
we,
team. Come on,
as we
girls. We
speak.
got the energy up, girls. Come on.
They seem to have been, as the captain said to you, there's a new attitude, in my view.
It's just interesting in terms of how both teams are coming into tonight. So, Leewards had a conversation, and that conversation is really about being positive and showing intent. And that is intent there as well. Fantastic running again by this pair. But both teams, as I mentioned, just coming in with different perspectives. So on the Leeward side is that conversation that, you know, let's just play with all heart and all fight and all spirit. And Guyana, for our viewers who can see on the screen currently, wearing some black armbands, and today they're dedicating tonight's match to the girls that have lost their lives in the fire in Guyana recently. That's fantastic cricket. He's going to find its way into the boundary. More runs for Saxena, more runs for the Leeward Islands.
Yeah, a ball that was short and wide of our stump. She cut it away, and cut it well she did. And it ran away for 4, just behind point, of course, and beating the fielder into the boundary. Saxena continuing her good run for the Leeward Islands, and one would hope that this innings could grow from strength to strength.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was 20 young ladies, I believe, that lost their lives in the fire, and quite a few more injured, and they're dedicating tonight's performance to them. It's certainly news that shook Guyana and shook the team out there. So both teams playing for something here tonight. Quick single to close out 8 It's 36 for 1.
Yes, of course, I would like to express my condolences to the families of those who lost their lives in Guyana and to the entire nation of Guyana. Of course, the loss of life is not something that one would welcome, or it is not news that one would wish to hear. But of course, our condolences and our prayers will go for those persons who are deeply affected by the loss of these young ladies.
Yeah, certainly a very trying time, and just echoing those sentiments, as we can see there on the screen, that flag also flying at half-mast because of that very reason as well. Well, we're approaching the halfway stage of this match. 36 for 1 after 8. And it's going to be Shanetta Grimmond to continue.
Saxena is 13 of 13. She's going at least 100. And Melissa Clark is 7 of 24. And I mentioned some time ago that she was pretty unfortunate in a few innings I've seen.
Oh, yeah. Better.
7 of 24 is means a great striking rate, but I think I understand the circumstances, and if Saxena is doing things, then she would just have to support.
Yeah, there was innings where she was able to catch back up.
Keep going, girls.
In terms of the fact, she started quite slow and then picked up pace. It got into what we call that second gear in her innings. But at this point, it just looks as if Saxena probably is the one to go after the bowling.
Stop it, Grammy. Good.
And they need that, certainly, to get themselves some momentum heading in to the middle overs of this match. Somebody who's willing to just take that bit of extra risk to keep the score pushing along. Well, a chance.
Oh, there seemed to be a run.
And the finger goes up.
Yeah, it was
So, Melissa Clark, she's run out the second wicket down for the Leeward Islands.
Yes, a sharp single was attempted. In fact, the ball just went pretty close to the umpire, and they took off for the run. Apparently, they agreed. Both of them agreed, and Melissa was short of her ground. She was run out, of course, just for 7. But she played a good hand anyway, nonetheless. And of course, in the Leewards' effort to show positivity, I say Melissa has done her work. And of course, the other batters could only take example from the positive intent shown by Leewards.
Yeah, just looking back at that run out, it was a case of not necessarily backing up as she should have, and maybe if she was, in terms of her follow through, walking as the bowler was coming through, maybe she might have gotten home. But she started almost flat-footed in looking to take that quick single. But she's gone back into the hut. 36 for 2. They are now.
A slight bit to you.
Come on, girls, come on.
That's center
Shanita
stump.
Grimmond. She's into the attack at this point in
Bowler,
time.
right arm over.
Divya Saxena. She's in the non-striker's position. Amanda Edwards
Stop it.
facing
Good.
with her back to the Lozak Road.
Where girls?
36 for 2 is quite an improvement on many scores that they have had during this tournament.
Oh, she has an almighty heave at that one to close out 9. It's 36 for 2.
Yeah, should have been better advised to go straight rather than across. She might have given her a chance. She would have had a better chance of making contact had she gone straight rather than try to swing. But Leewards have worked their way. 36 for 2. It's a reasonably good score given their history, and it shows that the attitude of positivity is at this point in time reaping some fruit for them. Of course, the batters coming could take example from that positive intent.
There looks to be a change in bowling from that Lozak Road end. The bowler appears to be Schultz that has come in to bowl.
That's you, Casey.
Schultz.
That's you, Casey.
Schultz.
Kezia Schultz is bowling now.
Overpitched. In fact, that one was dropping close to the crease, but it was also an off stump. She missed it, and she ought to be happy that it was outside off. If it was lined up with stump, she would have been bowled.
Yeah, just losing her shape a bit here, Saxena. And I think it's probably because she's looking to hit the ball just a bit too hard. They scamper one. Would have been
Single.
close had it hit direct. But I think it's just a case of trying to just go a bit too hard now at the moment for Saxena. I think that she's better served in terms of looking to wanting and just go back to timing the ball.
Yeah. I think maybe the one out could have affected her slightly as well. And that one was a bit close, where Amanda Edwards was really just running home and with a close run.
Touchdown, touchdown, come
This
on.
one was hit by Amanda
up down.
Edwards out into the deep,
back up.
wide lawn area.
Touchdown, Kiers,
And
touchdown,
of
Kiers.
course,
Come on, girls,
single
come on,
hand.
girls. Yeah.
The Leewards
Come on,
must
kids, come
consider playing with, in some cases, softer hands and getting twos rather than one. There's another one from Saxena. She's encouraging or attempting to steal a single. And you don't want to get over ambitious. Yes, we were critical of the Leewards not taking runs. We were critical of them not getting singles or not turning for two. But now they are getting to a point where they're taking some quick singles and sometimes suicidal singles.
Try.
Well, just past the outstretched hands of Schultz. 3 runs coming from the over. It's a 39 for 2 at the halfway stage.
Divya Saxena is 15 off 22. And of course, Amanda Edwards, she's just gotten to the wicket. And with the score 39 for 2, quite an improvement all on the previous efforts by the Leeward Islands. And this new attitude, how does it, we do hope it will play positively for them.
Well, to a certain extent, yes. You could say they have been positive, but the positivity was mainly inside the power play. Mm-hmm. At one point, they were going at 5.25 runs per over, but that has dropped down now to just about 3.9 runs per over.
Well, that has to do with the fact that the field placing is now different.
Well, yes, but I think to the opening batter, Clark would have used up quite a number of deliveries for just 7 runs. Yeah. And she would have, I think she got 7 from 24 deliveries or 25 deliveries. In 2020 cricket, you need to utilize the balls more. 7 from 24 is not really acceptable. And perhaps even if she had come close to a runner ball. But this just goes back to the fact that the Leeward Island batters, they have not been able to play with soft hands. They have not been able to rotate the strike well and pick up singles. And they have conceded a lot of dot deliveries. Notwithstanding that, though, we have had some very low scores in this tournament so far. We have seen teams batting out their 50 overs and not managing to get to 100 runs. As a matter of fact, if you look at some of the scores so far, in round 1, we would have had Guyana batting for 20 overs and they scored 88 for 7. And the Windies lost that match, batting 20 overs. They scored 84 for 8. Leewards against Jamaica, they scored 68 for 7 from the 20 overs. Jamaica knocked that off quite easily. Griman continues here from the media center end. instead to backward point. Gallagher feels and there's no run. But if you look at the scores, Wilman, teams have been batting their 20 overs, but the scores have been very low. Barbados against TNT, for example, Barbados 80 for 6 from 20 overs. And TNT batted all of that 20 overs to win that match. They got 82 for 5. And then the best score so far was by the Windwards. This one is outside the half stump and through to the keeper. It was by the Windwards. They got 127 for 4 from the 20 overs. And Leewards managed to get 82 for 6, although they batted the 20 overs. This is a good hit. It's in the 8s, going down towards the backward square boundary. And it's 4 runs there to Saxena, so that's a very good hit indeed.
Yes, a short delivery by to Saxena from Grimmond, and it stood up, and she swung it well backward square leg, 4 runs. Speaking of the dot balls, though, Amanda Edwards have swallowed up many dot balls.
Well, against
the last game, she had 60 balls.
61 to be exact.
61
to score 39.
So, and in games past, once she's at the wicket, she will utilize a lot of balls. And if she can just get that average down a little in terms of how many balls per run, that will do Leewards quite a bit of good. She's a good little batter.
Yeah, but I think she needs to work on feet movement. She is a sort of stand and deliver player, but of course there's something there for the coaches to work with. And of course, we cannot be too hard on the Leeward Islands women. They have not been playing cricket for several years, female cricket anyhow. So we could still empathize with them. 43 for 2 from 11 overs.
Yeah, the Windwards seem to have one must find out what the Windwards normally do to keep their ladies in peak form. At least the Leewards have just started as it relates to this level of cricket. And one would have to steal some information from the Windwards. The difficulty with the Leewards, though, is that we're separated by water. Most of the ladies would not be able to come together as frequently as they ought, and that creates a problem. So when they do get together for a short while, and then having to have a tournament like this, you know, the weaknesses begin to unveil themselves.
Oh yes, certainly, and you know, it's a development stage, of course, for the Leeward Islands batter, and they could only get
out
better.
In the mid-wicket area. Okay, one bounce, in fact, passes over the hand and allow a second run. Saxena and Amanda Edwards having a second run from that slight miscalculation by the fielder down on the deep mid-wicket area.
Yes, a good hit there by Saxena, and Saxena is looking to be aggressive. She's on 21 from 30. She defends there. Edwards, on the other hand, she's 2 from 4. We're in over number 12, and it's 46 for 2. But still too many dot deliveries. This one is in the air, and it's going to be safe. Just back of the square. As Gallagher feels they think in terms of a second run, and it's not on. So just a single, but too many dot deliveries. That has been one of the shortcomings of the Leeward Islands team, and not being able to convert ones into twos, driven straight back to the bowler, and they get a single. But I think the Leewards, they are learning, and at the end of this tournament, I think they could only be a more experienced team.
Yes, I mean, I've seen a turnaround. I've seen a turnaround in the running. It's still a little indiscreet at the moment, given the fact that there was one run out, and possibly there could have been 2 or more. But apart from the calling, which apparently they're not adept at, once they get that going, I think this new attitude of running singles and twos, in my view, is very good. And now I think they're overdoing.
But women will continue. That's a good drive for a single down to long off. And
Come on, girls. Keep that energy up, girls. Come on.
They are now still going at a fairly sluggish rate, 49 for 2. Good flick.
All right, one is one.
Off the pads there by Saxena, but she is probably one of the better batters. 50 has come up.
50 for 2.
From 12.2 overs.
Wonderful by the Leewards. Let me say that the Guyanese are by no means giving anything away. They are.
Well, you spoke too soon.
Oh, commentators curse.
You spoke too soon because
Yes.
they certainly gave away one there at short third man.
Yes.
And
But the Guyanese, what I admire about them is that they will tend to try and bowl you many dot balls, as many as possible. And of course, this is what I saw in them, in most of their matches.
scoring rate for the Leewards has gone up about 4. And here is an overthrow, but I think the batter Edwards had run way past the keeper at the far end and was unable to come back for another run. The ball was overthrown from square leg down to long off, but unable to capitalize.
Stop that.
Of course, there's a projected score of 82 by the Leewards in the 20 overs. That is if they continue with the current rate. One would hope that we can see a lifting of that run rate to where they can go close to 100.
Well, what Leewards would be looking to do here is to try and bat as deeply as possible. These two Edwards, although Edwards to me, Amanda Edwards does not seem to have the ability to up the game. And but these two will be hoping to bat as deeply as possible. We have another 7 overs after this, and probably if these two could take it down to over number 15, then perhaps they might try to up the tempo a bit.
Well, given the Guyanese attitude of duck balls, they just simply have a way of building duck balls on you, and they almost did that to I think it was Barbados or some team. They were bowling them. In fact, I think it was Trinidad. They almost got to where it was a runner ball, and they simply are adept at bowling your dot balls and bringing pressure to bear.
Maya Latchman is the new bowler, but she swung away. It's a poor delivery, badly lined. It was shortish on the leg stump, and Edwards played a very good shot and picked up 4. Swung it down to the backward square boundary 4. That's a very good shot.
Well, as I say, the leg spinner is normally the personal ball leg spin is normally they have to have good control, or they will go for many runs. In this case, that was a loosener by Latchman, and it came short, and Amanda took full advantage of that. Now there's a short backward square leg has been put in.
Short again, and this one would be signaled wide. Innocuous delivery down the onside, and Amanda Edwards berates herself, thinking that she should have put that one away also. But there's a short fine leg inside the circle, as you said, fairly square, and there's a square leg backward of square. Runs given away here. It's running down towards the fine leg boundary. They're back for the second. They're trudging back for the second. No urgency that time in the running. And in fact, it's 3 runs as wide is being signaled. So useful runs here for the Leewards.
And that, of course, has affected the projected score to 88. And of course, if Leewards are to continue this way, then they just might get 88 runs or more.
Well, they would be looking to get past 100 to be very competitive. Guyana has to be careful here. They has to be very careful here because when all is said and done, the Leewards, the Leeward Islands bowling, it has held its own. It has not really given runs away. So
they'll have to be careful here because if things get away from them, then if they get 200 or more, Guyana could spell some trouble given the Leeward's bowling attack seems to be pretty steady at times, and one would hope that they can get enough so they can at least defend. Guyana, however, they have quite a few very good batters. And
well, Guyana and Leeward, of course, they have been the teams in the tournament so far that are really meandered around the bottom rung of the table throughout the tournament. So, in fact, Leewards would have had their best match in the 50 over affair against Guyana, a match they lost by just 1 run, and they made their best score. 100, and this is a very quick single, but that's good running though. There's an appeal for obstruction by the Guyana player there, and that's Munisa. Of course, the running through Edwards' feet came in contact with the ball. And Munisa,
that was not intentional.
No, it was not. Yeah. Munisa appealed to the umpire, but Leewards, of course, made 166 for 9, looking to score 167, 168, in fact, to win that match in the 50 over affair, and they fell short by just 1 run. But we have had 14 overs completed, and Amanda Edwards is on 11 from 13. She's doing a lot better to the Willman. And
yes.
Saxena is 25 from 36.
One could only admire the Leewards, the change of attitude, the thinking of taking singles, and that has done much to break up the feel of the Guyanese. In fact, they're stringing many changes in the field as a result of those singles.
Well,
and,
there seems to be
a little injury or some discomfort for one of the Leeward Islands players. And is that a physio there or just? Well,
just emergency players with some refreshment. Player probably winded a bit, and some water being taken out there to Saxena. He's on her knees, and they're being given some attention by some of our teammates. But projected score 90, and Willman, looking at the tournament in general, though, we have been having some very low scores, and this is, of course, the West Indies women's tournament. The West Indies team would be selected from this West Indies women's team goes to, I think they go to Australia a little later this year.
One wonders if the batting tracks has anything to do with it, the type of track that is being prepared, or the.
I don't think so.
The lack of.
I think the tracks have been they have been very good.
Okay, the lack of skill of many of the players.
Well,
lack of a positive attitude in some cases.
Probably skill. Most of the performance come from the seasoned players. There are 1 or 2 players who have not done very well in the tournament. Think of Campbell, for example, the captain of Guyana.
No, look at that. This is a Leeward's team that has changed their attitude. I mean, there were games when they could hardly take a single.
Yes, that is
true.
Now
we have seen quick singles being taken, and in some cases suicidal singles. And this is quite a difference in the team from what I saw earlier.
What they need to do now, though, is to here is the batter there, Edwards, probably waiting to ensure that the ball had gone past Munisa. who was shadowing that one at short mid-wicket.
Yeah, but the call is important. Call.
Yes, but what she was doing really,
Waiting to see if
she
it was
waited
lead.
quite sensibly to ensure that the ball had gone past the mid-wicket fielder as an appeal goes up. And once it had gotten past, she called the partner through for a run. But 65 for 2, and we're in over number 15. And the Leewards have wickets in hand. So the question is, how would they go on from here? As this one is stayed down to short third man.
Well, one would hope that the last 5 overs, we can see at least some luster hitting. Having 8 wickets still in the kit, should be able to open up and get some boundaries and push the score well beyond 100. Here is one, a boundary.
Yeah, that's a good shot. That was played down to the backward square boundary. She was into a wicket, Saxena, and played a very good shot, getting it past square leg and picking up 4. So she would have moved on to 30 with that 4. Scoreboard is showing her 26, but I think she's we'll get the adjustment in a while. It should be yes, she's on 30 from 40 delivery, 69 for 2. And this is good going, Wilmon.
Yes. Amanda Edwards as well. She seemed to have stepped up her game slightly. She has 12 from 14. And of course, if she can keep that disparity between runs and balls received, of course, this will all go to the benefit of the Leeward Islands. And let me welcome back Joel to the commentary position.
So Leewards certainly putting on a better showing. Putting on a better showing at this point.
Come on, girls, come on, girls.
Joel, and with another 5 overs to go, I'm certain that the Leewards would be looking to up the tempo at this stage. They do have wickets in hand. The last match we saw the captain, Senelda Willett, getting an aggressive 15, and she appears to be getting a bit of form, although it was only 15 scored. So perhaps they would be looking to push on from here.
You say perhaps, but they should be, and hopefully will be, given the fact that they're pretty much set here, and 5 overs left, 30 balls to go. There's certainly no coming back after it. So you usually tell yourself in this back end, 30 balls, let's double it, get 60 runs. So even if they don't get that 60, can they get 40? That 40 takes them to 110, and that certainly would be, to most people's minds, a total that they can probably work with.
Well, I hope they, let's put it this way, they, even if they die trying, I hope they would continue to try and continue to exhibit this positive intent. No point going back in the hutch with 2 wickets down and just 85 runs on the board.
Get Jerry!
Well, this one should fall safely. No, it doesn't. It falls into the hands. And Divya Saxena played a fantastic innings. But she's now got to go back for 31.
Yes, that's a good catch there in the end by Sherry-Ann Fraser. She seemed to have misjudged it a bit, but in the end, she backpedaled and got on it and took a good catch and really roped it in quite nicely. So, good hand, as you said, by Saxena, 31 from 40 2 deliveries. It's now 70 for 3.
Yeah, given the initial movement of Sherry-Ann Fraser, I thought that probably it was going just a bit further over her head. Regathered, recalibrated, and took quite an easy catch in the end to remove Saxena. Millington picks up her second 70 for 3. Jazar Claxton is a new batter for the Leeward Islands.
Of course, she on the 19 player bats left-handedly. I'm sure she is sent in to do a job. You have
Come on, girls.
long on, long off on the boundary, and there's also deep mid wicket on the boundary and cover sweeping. So Claxton is defending the first delivery, but we should not be seeing too much defense here from the Leewards at this juncture.
Yeah, it probably just needs maybe 1 or 2 balls to get settled. Even though we're into the back end, probably still has maybe a couple that she can get a sighter with. Well, she doesn't need a sighter, it seems. And that's going to be her first runs off the bat.
Well, she probably got a sighter from the first delivery. And she was off to the races with the second one. Pulling it down to mid-wicket for a single. So, Leeward's putting on a good showing at this juncture.
Probably sliding down. Leg side there. 1 run and 1 wicket from this over. 1 ball to go in it to complete 16.
Come on, girls.
Amanda Edwards, though, I get the impression she does not really seem to have that ability to up the tempo. She does not really seem to have that ability, even though she might have been there for some time to move into the next gear. But let's see what she'll do in this innings.
Oh, stop that, stop that. Come on, man.
Well, probably looking for a better effort there to stop that one. A single to end it. It's 72 for 3.
Come on, girls.
Yeah, so just 2 runs coming from that over. A very good over there by Millington, especially at this stage of the game. She, of course, has completed 3 overs and has 2 for 17. And has been one of the leading wicket takers for Guyana. So she has been very successful so far in this tournament. I noticed, though, Sherry-Ann Fraser, I noticed that she is playing predominantly as a batter. She would have missed some of the early matches. She would have missed the Super 50. And I know she is a fast bowler. She has good pace. I suspect that she might be carrying some sort of injury.
Well, Munasar into bowl. Her final over of this piece. Figures of 3 overs, none for 16 so far. Fairly economical, you would have to say, this evening. Well, it looks like brilliant glove work by the skipper, Shemaine Campbell.
Well, it looks like she was bowled to me. It would be good to look at that again.
No, in fact, stumped, yes.
Yes, you're
brilliant glove work there by the skipper, Shemaine Campbell. And that sends back Amanda Edwards for 13.
Yes, Joel. As you said, the good work there from Campbell. I was saying, no, Fraser, Sherry-Ann Fraser, who bats left-handedly. And he's a good, one of the quicker female bowlers in the region. She is not bowling in this inning so far. One notable player missing from this tournament is also from Jamaica, is Chanel Henry. And I understand too that she must be carrying some sort of injury. Chanel Henry, of course, is a West Indian player. She one of the consistent players for the West Indies. But the captain is there now, Willett.
Yeah, just a cluster of wickets there for the Leeward Islands. 2 falling in quick time. 2 new batters at the crease. Not much time for them to go. Skipper tries to get in on the act. But the shake of umpire Blades says not out.
Come on, girls.
Leewards, of course, losing their way at this point. They're not getting boundaries. They're not getting singles. They've lost a wicket in this over. No runs scored as yet. Still no run.
What we're also seeing is just that turn factor. We saw it from the start of today. This surface a lot drier, a lot more tired, given the amount of cricket that's been played on it. We certainly expect spin to come into play across the remaining rounds of this T20 Blaze. Well, a dot ball to finish out the 17th, 7-2 for 4, the Leeward Islands.
17th over, of course, being a main wicket, and very good over there for Guyana. And Leewards really, they're really struggling at this point. At the juncture where they should have been pushing the scoreboard along, and with just another 3 overs left. Question is how much more runs the Leewards could eke out. There are another 6 wickets to go for the Leewards, so I think they should die trying.
The thing about it is that we see this across several T20 matches in terms of getting good starts, falling away at times, and the recoveries at the back end of it. Recoveries in terms of just a little flourish of runs, and that certainly is what the Leeward Islands will be hoping for here.
Millington, of course, is the bowler from the far end.
Oh, yeah. All right, one is one.
They get an easy single here from Claxton, but they need what they need at this point is boundaries as opposed to singles.
They'll certainly take those singles as well. The matchup though here favouring the right-handed Sineldo Willett with the off spinner into the attack. And she tried to take on that matchup, but it's not successful. Finds the hands of Long On, and the skipper, she's got to head back.
Oh yes, the Long On just stood there and waited for that ball to come to her. An easy catch, and Willett is on her way. Not troubling the scorers. She has had a number of low scores. It would be interesting to see how many ducks she would have made in this year's tournament. But I think she got out trying to do the right thing, trying to go over the top. It's just that she might not have timed it as well as she would have liked. But Guyana really fighting back and fighting back well, and really restricting the Leewards at this point. Catch, of course, being taken by the vice captain there for Guyana, Shabika Yanasby. She's down on the long on boundary. So Guyana really doing well at this point.
Roselle Leibard, the new batter for the Leeward Islands. And she goes from ball 1.
Back up.
Yes, but yes, she goes from ball 1, but you know, she set off for that single rather slowly. And I would have thought that she would have been charging down to the non-strikers and trying to put some pressure on the fielder. They're coming off the long off boundary.
All right, that's one.
There we go again. No real urgency in the running. Yes, it looked like just a single, but one never knows. You set off quickly for the first one, and the fielder coming off from off the boundary could easily overrun the ball and allow a second run.
Come. 4 runs and a wicket from that Millington over. 18 gone, 76 for 5.
So Millington 3 for 21 from her 4 overs. He had 10 dot deliveries and an economy of 5.25. So a very good spell there by Plafiana Millington.
Come on, kids.
And 76 for 5. And you could say that Leeward Islands floundering a bit at this point. 2 overs to go. And at the rate they're going, another 8 runs. It seems as though they might just get to 85 runs. Roselle Leibard is on 2. Jazara Claxton is on 3.
Bowler.
Well, Casey Schultz comes back into the attack now. 12 deliveries left for the Leeward Islands.
Come.
And here's where it is just going to be that slight challenge here for Rosa Leeward, because instantly you see where she's looking to target in terms of that leg side, but the left arm spin going away from her. We talk about those matchups, and this single brings together what we call that matchup, where now Jazara Claxton is able to access that leg side. It'll be interesting to see the lines and lengths that Schultz bowls here. Probably might go just a bit flatter to Claxton, ensuring that she can't necessarily get under it and have a swing to that leg side. Opting to stay bowling around the wicket as well. And that also tells you the angle that she's looking to push across her. Well, tries to go across that one. It's going to be very difficult to get the LBW from bowling here.
Leg. But Joel, though, are you a great believer in matchups?
To an extent. To an extent, especially given situations like this where batters are very leg side dominant.
Sometimes I feel though it's overplayed. You know, if you're a good bowler, for example, I always feel a good bowler should be able to bowl at any batsman. Whether if you're a left arm bowler and you're a very good bowler, you should be able to bowl to a left arm bowler and dismiss him if you're that good.
Well, there's that matchup that I talked about, and Claxton taking full advantage of it, finding the boundary. 4 good runs for the Leeward Islands.
Oh yes, certainly a good shot. Over backward square and down to the boundary for 4, and this is what the Leewards need at this point. They need boundaries, not just singles. So with 1 delivery left in this over, they have eked out 5 runs so far. A boundary here for the Leewards would be very useful.
Well, this could be a double delight. It is indeed. 4 runs to close out the 19th. It's 85 for 5.
Right on cue. Claxton playing a very good shot. Back out of square once more. And the mid-wicket had no chance in cutting that one off. And 4 precious runs there for the Leewards.
And this is funny enough now where that matchup that I mentioned comes into play. Just in case, in terms of that odd bad delivery that you might get from the bowler to the right-handed batter. It's a more difficult shot for her to go over cover with that bad ball, pitch short, back of a length. For the left-hander now, it's just that easy tug to the leg side. It's just factoring for that one occasional bad ball. So the bad ball came, the 5th delivery, putting that pressure on her to kind of close it out. Goes full, gets punished again. The final over, though, coming in the form of pace. Shabika Gajnabi comes back into the attack.
Yes, the matchups do work, but you know, I think at times it's overplayed by some teams.
Starts with 1. Thinking of 2. Can't get it. 5 balls left for the Leeward Islands. Can they get into the 90s? Can they get past 100? I certainly know that all those who are right now commenting in the chat will be willing them beyond 100.
Well, a couple of boundaries here from Claxton could be very useful. We saw in the last over she picked up consecutive boundaries, and a couple, maybe 3, 4 boundaries. We have not had any 6 struck in this inning so far by the Leewards.
This should be another one to the total. A good early call. And signaled leg byes by the umpire. So 4 balls left to go in this first innings for the Leeward Islands.
Of course, the Guyanese would be happy with just that single from that delivery.
The possibility of 2 exists.
Yes, they are really charging back.
And they get it.
So intent shown here by the two batters. Leeward is on 6 from 6. Claxton 11 from 10. So a pretty good strike rate there for Claxton, just over 100. Leeward exactly 100.
Straight back down the ground. Straight as an arrow. Straight into the boundary.
My word. That's a wonderful shot indeed there by Leeward. It was banged back past the bowler. 4 runs and 4 useful runs. 89 it is now for 5.
Umpire Candice Laborde having to do a bit of jumping there to get out of the way of that one. It would have been a bit of a blow if she had to take that one on the body. But momentum now going the way of the Leeward Islands. 2 deliveries left for them to capitalise on. Gajnabi to bowl. And it's a dot ball. A ball they call gold. 1 left for Gajnabi. 1 left for Roselle Leibird. Can she find the boundary? Can Gajnabi bowl a dot ball? And it's in fact a stumping. So a quiet end to the final over. 93 for 6 to Leeward Islands, which means that 94 is what Guyana will need from their 20 overs in this final match of round 3 of the CWA Women's T20 Blaze.
Yes, 94 required. Not a very huge total by any means, but this tournament has been a tournament of low scores. So you cannot write off the Leeward Islands. If they do bowl well, they could be in with a chance of defending this 94 runs. But we'll be back with you in just about 10 minutes time to give you the start of the Guyana's inning.
Well, we're back to the action under the lights of Warner Park in St. Kitts and Nevis. 93 for 6 is what the Leeward Islands were able to get in their 20 overs. And now it's the turn of Guyana. 94 needed from 120 deliveries. 93. If the Leeward Islands were to say that this was a total that they could accept at the start, I'm pretty sure they would say yes, given how things have gone for them across this tournament. Would they have loved to get more? Certainly. But 93 represents a fighting chance if they have a disciplined bowling performance. Guyana, their batting hasn't necessarily clicked for them, and they'll be hoping, though, that tonight it does. All to play for under the lights.
Well, with 93 runs, the Leewards will hope, firstly, to take some wickets early to set back the Guyanese. If you can take wickets, then be as tight as possible, be as measly as you can. And of course, as many doctors
middle, please. That's the middle. Thank you. Bowler is coming right hand over to you.
And of course, with 93 for 6, Leewards, in my view, they have a good opportunity. 120 balls. This is something that they can work with. And of course, first they want to take wickets, and then if not, then they want to be as lean as you can.
Well, opening the batting for Guyana, Shanetta Grimmond. And Melissa Clark with the ball starts with a wide. The first runs for Guyana, they opened their account with a quick single. It's interesting to see them take that, especially given how things have gone for them in terms of teams. I probably think that Guyana probably is up there in terms of the most runouts for a team across both the Super 50 and here in the T20 Blaze. But they get home comfortably in the end to open their account. Yeah, yes, the first run's off the bat for them, yeah.
Sorry, into the body of the batter, and she just touched it out in the onside.
Well, Katana Mentori peers Shanetta Grimmond at the other end. In terms of run scores so far in this tournament, Mentori ranks second in the list with 64 runs from 2 innings so far. And she'll be hoping that she can have another wonderful night under the lights here.
Again, almost just barely on the trim line. Again, you can see the ball deviating away from the batter and into the comfortable hands of Packer. But she may want to start a little closer, though, maybe just about off stump, allowing her to defend that off stump, and then that away movement could result in something good for her. There she is.
I was just about to say a slip probably could come into play for them, especially with this early away movement. It's always about looking for wickets at the start. That is where your pressure comes from.
And again, because Melissa Clark moves that ball away so frequently, there should have been a slip in place. And that was not so to be. And there's a run down to third man.
Well, tries to just overcompensate a bit, adds the ball to do a bit too much on that occasion, Clark, and adds another extra to the total. That's also going to be something that needs to be key for them in terms of the amount of runs that they give away in extras as well.
Well directed delivery. Defending her off stump was Grimmond, and played it out quietly into the offside. Clark may want to start just about off stump.
This pair did quite well for Guyana versus The Leeward Islands got to 42 for 1 before losing the first wicket. They'll be hoping for a similar start here. A chance goes a begging. Put down a sharp one it was to mid-wicket to close out the first over. An eventful one. It is 5 without loss.
Quite a good over by Clark, in my view. A little, well, a few eventualities. The ball that went past the keeper on the offside that took the edge. And then there were a few balls that she overcompensated. And as a result, she gave away wides. And then that last delivery, the ball clipped away to short mid-wicket. And the catch, it was a difficult one though. But she put it down, and therefore Clark would have to try again. It's a good first over, 5 without loss. One would hope that those free runs will be eliminated, given the fact that you only have 93 runs with which to play.
Yeah, it's just those chances in games like these that you need to take. You wouldn't even consider it to be a half chance. It was an entire chance there. And certainly if you're going to give yourself the best chance of winning, you have to take those. A bit of a break in play here with the umpires coming together. Not sure what might be the issue here.
Yeah. And the captain. Yeah, the 2 subs on, sorry.
The umpires, one umpire going back to the square leg position. The other one is in the his position at the media center end. The batters had their conference in the middle, and we see the bowler and one of her teammates doing some pre-ball up exercises.
Well, it's Kimberly Anthony who will be peering from this media center end. Starts with a dot. Starts exactly how the Leewards would want her to. Even if they aren't able to pick up early wickets, certainly need to build that pressure onto Guyana. Can't afford for them to get off to a flare here. Just probably inside of that wide line. Grimmond thinking that it should have been called wide, but I think that umpire Blades probably just got it correct on that occasion. Looked to be just inside of that line.
Yeah, but there was no slip, and therefore they could have.
Well, that's a good shot. That's the first boundary for Guyana.
Yeah, ball that was wide of off stump actually, and gave the batter an opportunity to free her arms, and she slammed that as well to the covers for 4 runs. I was saying that the ball before that, she was looking for wide. There was no slip, and if you just get a little touch on that away from the keeper, that's 4. There's no third man. Well, there's a wide third man, I'll call it a point. I don't think they would have gotten around. There isn't much pace to play with really, but
yeah.
at least you would get at least a single or 2 runs.
Yeah, that shot prompts a change in the field. Fine leg comes into the circle, and cover drops back onto the boundary. And she strays in length, she strays in line, and she is punished.
Yes, another 4. Anthony, she overcompensated. We'll be using that word quite a bit. She got slammed through the offside. They moved away someone from the onside, brought them to the offside, and now she bowls a delivery that was struck for 4 way down backward square leg. In my view, 2 full, badly lined 4 runs.
Yeah, a bit of a gift on the legs of Shanetta Grimmond. She's not going to miss out on that too often in these power play overs. She'll accept that today, tomorrow, next week, next year. 2 deliveries left in the second over of this innings. And she gets off strike now. So quite a productive over for Guyana. 9 runs from it so far.
One cut.
And the Leewards could ill afford giving overs like this. In fact, there's another ball coming. There's the sixth ball to be bowled, and already they have had so many runs.
Well, answering the question of umpire Blades, he says no. Yes. And it's yes to the end of over number 2, 14 without loss.
Well, at least the ball was well directed, just outside off stump. The batter drove at it, missed it, went to the keeper. A question was asked. But of course, the over is done. I think it was simply too expensive, about 9 or 10 runs in that over. And of course, the Leewards can ill afford to give Guyana these free shots and wides and so on. That's not what we need. What Leeward would be looking forward to, a run rate of 7, and they could ill afford that sort of help.
Well, Clark is back to bowl her second. Still the power play overs. Sweeper on the cover boundary. And third man, the 2 outside of the circle. Thought about one. Correctly decides against it. And certainly after having the chance being put down, you wouldn't want to then invite an opportunity for the Leeward Islands to capitalize on in terms of a mistake in terms of the running.
But still there's no slip for Clark.
Well, that certainly will be called away. The outstretched arms of umpire Candice Laborde, hailing from the island, or rather the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Well, she gets away with that one, you would have to say. It was pulled away nicely, but it found a short, fine leg. To the right or left, it was a guaranteed boundary. Definitely not the line that she would want to be bowling here. Opts for change of pace. And that's also what will come into play on this surface. We saw in the earlier games slower deliveries, especially from the seamers, working quite well out of the surface, especially given that it's gripping just a bit more.
I still would like to see a slip, though, because she has a natural curve toward the slip. This time she's wide off stump. Cut offered, missed. There was some bounce on that one, though, and one would hope that Leewards could tighten the next 2 or 3 overs and not give up their last 5 overs, their first 5 overs to too many runs.
Well, opting for that change of pace again. Just one to close out the third. It's 17 without loss.
The Leewards need to tighten. Guyana, of course, they are off to a good start, in my view. And a total of 93 required in 20 overs. And like I said before, the Leewards need to at least apply some pressure by bowling a few dot deliveries and maybe forcing a wicket. Of course, one catch was dropped already. There was no slip for Clark, and one went through the slips. I thought that that may have caused her to change her line somewhat. And she's bowling a lot straighter now and even getting pulled away for 4. And one would hope that good captaincy would come to the fore. Anthony will take the 4th over.
Well, Anthony went for 9 in her first, entrusted with another one by the skipper, Sneldo Willett.
And this is what some people are saying, that in spite of the position of the game, there are plans that they still do follow. Wide. Based on the game, based on what happens, you need to be able to make changes as a captain. Okay, one bowler, she sent down 9 runs. You want to bring someone who will be a little tighter and maybe give her a rest, let her wait for maybe the later overs. This is the power play. And but instead of that, sometimes a plan has been hatched and it remains whether or not things are going as they plan.
Well, much better from her in terms of a follow-up delivery, certainly where she would want to be for the majority of this over, and probably why the captain has given her another one. Placing that faith in Kimberly Anthony, will she reward that faith?
That ball had some bounce in it though. I wonder if a slip might not be good. You can't help but realize that the Leewards, you can see a sort of bubble, a sort of bounce. Even though the bowling is not going according to plan, you can see that they're energized. I rather like to see this new attitude that I've seen.
Well, there's protection out there, which means just one for them, in spite of a bit of a fumble by the keeper.
For quite a few matches, I've seen that they used Jazara as an opening bowler, but for some reason she has not been preferred this match. At least the last match she bowled one over, which went for I think 11 runs in the first, and she never bowled again until further down in the match.
Oh, clipped away nicely. A splendid looking shot. And a result that they will like.
20 without loss. The Leewards need to put 24 now. They need to put a rein, put some check on this scoring. And of course, though they have the correct attitude and bubbly, the bowling need to come to the fore. Anthony again going for a few. It's already 5 and they are yet 7 and there are yet 2 balls to go. The Leewards can ill afford this sort of few wides and leg buys and much the sort, and settle down to bowl a few dot deliveries, apply some pressure, and let that 93, the scoreboard pressure, work for you.
Well, tries to work that one away. A dot ball to close out what has been a pretty expensive over. Foregone, it's 24 without loss.
Well, cricket is a game of glorious uncertainties, as most people say. Uncertain glories, and Earl came up with a new one the other day. Certain glories. But in this case, Leewards, they are hoping for a wicket, and I think they need to work for it. And the field placing must be correct. You see Willett making a few, giving some commands for fielders to move one way or the next. And one would hope that Leewards would pull things together and put a check on the scoring as it is. They need 70 runs from 96 balls as we speak, and the current run rate is 6. The current rate is 6, and with 70 runs to go, they need to act fast.
Well, trying to go over the top was Grimman, not getting the connection there. And you see her now looking to rehearse just a bit more in terms of where she should have been looking to hit that particular delivery. Probably bottom hand coming into play just a bit more, looking for that additional power. Mid-off and mid-on up in the circle. In behind it nicely this time.
Good delivery, asking a question or two of the batter. And I was going to say the Guyanese are in absolutely no trouble whatsoever. They're having a free hand. They're given a free hand, and they seem to be executing as it is. Leewards not helping their cause with a few indiscretions. One would hope things would tighten up a bit.
And a misfield now. just these little moments in the game that certainly matter at the end of the day. Keeping that pressure on. They made a move before that deliverer's ball where they brought the third man into the circle and dropped the long off back onto the boundary because of the intent being shown by Grimman, but then allowing her to get off strike. Just flirting with danger outside that off stump. At the moment, Mentore mentioned the fact that she's been a shining light for Guyana in this T20 Blaze, sitting second on that list of leading run scorers at the moment.
Mrs. Melissa Clark missing her run-up. And the last delivery that she had there lined up just about off stump, and that's where she needs to be. Again, she's wide. Chopped away to cover. Point. And of course, another run, another free hand given to the Guyanese batters. And the Leewards need to be tight. You can't be all over the place, wide of off stump, being chopped and pulled and everything. You need to be tight.
Well, this could be a chance. It falls into no man's land. And that's the end of 5. 27 without loss.
Yes, the few opportunities that Leewards have had, they have gone a begging. That one in particular, the ball went sky high, and two fielders trying desperately to get under it. None of them succeeded, and so it just more runs for Guyana. And the Clark, in my view, she might just become frustrated by the fact that the opportunities that were presented were not taken. And of course, when she overcompensated, she was punished. When she was on line, touch one down to slip, nobody was there to take it. And so Leewards, not in a good way right now. 27 without loss is Guyana. In the 5th over, let me welcome back Earl to the microphones.
Yes.
Batters, change the bowler, right arm over.
27 for no loss. We are seeing the first bowling change here by the Leeward Islands. And it's Roselle Leeward who comes into the attack, the off spinner. And perhaps a bit late, you were alluding to the fact that they continued with Anthony after she was being expensive. Of course, the Leeward Islands, they do not have a lot of runs to play with. And I would have thought that at this point, I would have thought that even earlier than now, they would have been looking to pick up wickets and removed Anthony immediately. But this is not wickets here. McCall, it's been swung
more runs for 4.
Into the mid-wicket boundary for 4.
Yes.
That was short, it was slow. And Shanita Grimman rocked onto the back foot and swung it down to mid-wicket for 4. So a poor start there by Leeward.
Well, Leewards, they do not have a history of winning. And when you want to develop a winning attitude, you must first win. And of course, they have not had that, even though they've made 93. By their standards, that's quite some runs. And but they are not doing well to defend it.
Well, it's not just by their standards. Here
is another.
And the fielder not recovering quickly. There was hesitation between the batters. And there could have been a chance of a run out. And the Leeward Islands not really capitalizing on chances being offered to them.
Yes, the ball hit straight to, I think it's Anthony, straight to her, straight in and out. And the batters were struggling in mid-pitch, and the run-out opportunity went a begging.
And McCall, you were saying that by the Leeward Island standard, but
yes.
Actually, it's the standard of the tournament so far. I could read you a string of scores that are far below
below 100.
That 94 runs. Yes. Guyana got 88 for 7 from 20 overs. And win was last that match. Just scoring some 84 for 8. And then Leewards, of course, against Jamaica, they only got 68 for 7, which Jamaica knocked off quite easily. And then Barbados against TNT batted 20 overs, and they only managed to get to 80 runs, 80 for 6 wickets. And TNT got to that score losing 5 wickets, but this one is defended into the onside. And as we go down the scores for the tournament so far, Ali was getting 82 for 6 against the Windies in reply to 127 for 4. And then we had Guyana versus Barbados.
Misfield again, Earl.
Yes, and allowing a single. Hesitation again.
Somebody's
She's going down
run
and
out.
run out. Oh my goodness. This is complete craziness. Grimond. And I've seen them against the Leeward Islands in the Super 50. Running poorly between the wicket. Guyana, they have been guilty of throwing away a number of wickets by the run-out route. And the wicket, of course, that's not Grimond going, it's Mentor. The batter dismissed. And it's now 33 for 1, a much-needed wicket for the Leewards.
Of course, this could be where the momentum could shift from the Guyanese team to the Leewards team. The first 5 overs, the momentum seemed to have been with Guyana. They were scoring freely. The Leewards were making quite a few errors. And now with this run out, this could be where the momentum could now shift from one to the other. And of course, with 93 runs from the Leewards, one would hope that they could rally themselves together and put together a few overs that could apply some pressure to the Guyanese effort and giving them their best opportunity to win, to put this one in the bag. So all is settled. The new batter is Gashnabi. Of course, she has just gotten there, and the captain of the Leewards taking her time, trying to make sure the fielders are in the correct area. Jenison Richards will be sending down the next over. Oh, she is.
Well, the bowling change, of course, from the far end.
Yes.
And, single down to McCoy there. She's at short third man.
Let's go, Jenny. Let's go, ladies. 5 balls to come.
I've not seen much of McCoy. I understand she's a reasonably good bowler, but throughout the tournament I've seen only 1 over from her. That's what I've seen. I've seen her bat once, and she has not featured much. This one is chucked away to extra cover. This could run close to the boundary. In fact, she stopped it just inside the boundary, and they're coming back for the 3rd one.
Yes, good one in there from Guyana. In fact, it was just about a meter inside the boundary.
Let's go, Jenny!
That fielder. So
Gashnabi is off the mark, actually. Jenison Richards, is she a right arm leggy or is it off breaks? Trying to pick that up.
Well, let's look at that again.
Nothing!
She gives it generous flight.
Looks more like an off spinner
It
to
looks
me.
more like an off spinner.
Perhaps she has a bit of variety.
But one would hope that there's a shift in the overall momentum in this game, and that it would end up to be a very exciting matchup.
Of course, Richards is listed as an off-spin bowler.
Yes.
A good punch up to cover, but for no run by Gajnabi. So 39 for 1. We're in over number 7.
Let's go, Jenny. Stay bowling.
But find out, Macaulay, the Leeward Island team, they tend to be a bit stereotyped. They seem to go out there with a mindset to bowl a particular bowler, and at times seems to be very reluctant to
change,
to make a bowling change.
Yeah, well, I said that earlier, that there seems to be a pattern, a plan that was devised. And in spite of what the situation is on the field, that plan must go, and it is applied whether or not the situation demands that it remains that way. And of course, I said that when Anthony was bowling her second over, having gone for about 11 in the first. I thought that there could have been a change then, and but she continued and she went for even more.
Well, with very little runs to play with, you cannot afford to have your bowlers giving away 11, 10 runs, 8 runs per over, and not just in one over, but in consecutive overs. I think the first went for 11 and the second probably went for 8 runs or thereabout. You just can't afford that. Oh, he's a good one, but probably missing leg. The appeal goes up.
That was a good shout. The ball seemed to have been lined just center and leg though, maybe sliding down with the angle, and the umpire decides against the appeal, but it was a good shout.
I would, of course, bowling right arm off spin. This one is flatter in the air. This could be, oh my goodness. There was another chance going a begging, and this time the guilty party there for the Leeward Islands being Amanda Edwards, the vice captain.
Well, she didn't touch it, you know.
I think she should have gotten to that. She had lots of time. The ball was in the air for quite some time. And she moved around rather lazily to her right. She's at extra cover. And as I said, she didn't even get a hand to it.
The pressure is building somehow. I don't know if it's on the batters or on the bowlers, but there seemed to be something tense about this game. 42 for 1 in the 8th over, facing 93. All you needs to be is 1 or 2 more wickets, and the game is on.
Well, they're not taking their catches, and if you are looking to win a low-scoring game, you have to take practically every chance that come your way.
Yeah, and what hurts really is a few misfields, and balls catches going a begging, but the misfields really hurt, because when you think it's a dot ball, there you are, somebody misfields, sometimes 2.
There have been too many bad deliveries, though, too many 4 deliveries from the Leeward Islands. And the good thing about the batting for Guyana so far, though, is that they have not really missed out on the bad deliveries. They have put them away.
See, there's a misfield again. What could have been just a dot becomes 1, and then in this case 2. And so the Leewards, yes, they have done some work on their batting up front, and their attitude and their running seems to have changed. But that needs to be transmitted to the fielding. I've seen too many lapses, and I don't want to be overcritical of these young ladies, given that they are pretty new to this, but one cannot allow mediocrity to become the standards that we want around the Leewards.
Certainly not. I know one of the strong points in women's cricket, if you look at a lot of female cricket worldwide, the catching and so is very good. But we have not seen it here this evening with the Leewards.
Yes, well, one went to hand, and it went to Anthony, and it was hit pretty fiercely though. Saw her shaking her hand after, and a few of them balls went up in the air, and the fielders failed to get under. Those I don't call chances unless it hits the hand. An opportunity was presented for somebody to get under it.
It didn't touch the hand, but they should have. These are catches that should have been taken, and it was due mainly to the sluggishness of the fielders not being fleet-footed, not really getting into position quickly enough to take the catch. Balls being in the air for quite some time.
Yes.
And this is something that the Leeward Islands, they certainly would have to work on. 45 for 1. And we are over number 8. So Guyana going at a good clip. They are going at 5.63 runs over. And the required rate just 4.08. So very much in control, Guyana. They're losing just the 1 wicket by the run-out route. This one, not a bad delivery, full pitch, and lucky to get away with just a single, as this one was swung up to straightish mid-wicket by Ghaznabi, and overpitched there by Richards. Jensen Richards, right arm off spinner from the far end. So Guyana really easing towards this total. Easy going here for Guyana at this point.
Yeah, Guyana is just marching along. There seem to be no problems with regard to bowling. Just that they have not capitalized on every bad delivery. There are several bad deliveries I've seen which were not put away. And maybe the Guyanese feel that we have this, they need to hurry. This one was an attempted pull, actually. Wide delivery, and of course not helping the cause much when that happens.
Yeah, signal there by umpire the ball.
Let's go, Jen, me and you.
The far end, so 1 more to the score. Guiman has moved on to 26 in the meantime. And is a wicket there for Richards, Jensen Richards bowling the informed Guiman, and a good blow stroke there for the Leewards.
Yes, that ball was well lined. She swung across it actually, and she missed it. She would have been advised rather to go with a more vertical presentation rather than horizontal or diagonal, and she missed it. It cannoned into her stumps, and she's out. Of course, if this could happen a few more times and more pressure from the Leewards, this could be a shift in momentum.
Well, here's an opportunity presented for the Leewards. The captain, Campbell, she's at the crease. She has been in poor form throughout the season in the 50-over affair, and also so far in the 20-over affair, she has not gotten a good score on the belt as yet. And who knows? Perhaps the Leeward Islands not really sensing the moment. There's no change.
No urgency,
in the field.
you're right.
There's no change in the field. The pressure being brought to Bear and Campbell, allowing her to get off the mark quite easily as she plays it down to Longan. And he was certainly not in the game, not sensing the moment, sensing that this is an opportunity, this is someone, a batter who is in poor form, and probably for at least a couple of deliveries, applying some pressure and not allowing her to get off the mark easily.
Yes, I take your point. There needs to be some urgency, and of course a new batter, nobody close to the bat whatsoever. And it's easy pickings, a single right down to long on, she's off the mark. And these are aspects of the game that the Leewards would have to learn, and that comes only with playing cricket. Again, another misfield, allowing a run, and this is not helping the cause. The Leewards, of course, this is their, I think, their 5th edition in the Women's Championship in the Caribbean. A pretty new entry in fact they're the newest entry into the women's game in the West Indies, and so it's in the learning. They're still in the learning stages, and we hope that in the next few years the Leewards could become a force to be reckoned with.
Well, Vice Captain Amanda Edwards comes on from the
Change the bowler, right arm over.
media center end. But Wilmon, we have been blessed with good weather so far this evening.
Yes, I saw a few flashes in the southern area, and of course, like I say, the weather is good. We're not hoping to have rain. The lightning that you see, I don't know where they came from. Maybe they are not. I saw some clouds over the Connery area earlier today, and a little over the Birdwalk area. They were not that dark, but one hoped that they didn't contain any water for the moment, and then we can have this game complete.
Bowls. This one is turning as we speak. There was another flash of lightning in the southern section of Bastille. But we have had no rain, no. Well, it's difficult to tell at this point what the sky is looking like. It's night time, of course, but so far so good. And, we're in over number 10, so we would have had a match, regardless of the weather. And it's difficult to pick up the pass score on the scoreboard. It looks like 45. The stage, Guyana, they are 50 for 2. So they're well in control of this game. This is a wonderful shot here by Campbell, getting it backward of point, sweeping it from off the leg stump and down to backward point for 4. Well timed.
Yeah, bad delivery, of course. Badly lined, had no pace in it whatsoever, and she simply swung it around, and 4 runs. But the psychology of the game must be learnt by the Leewards. There's a certain attitude you must pick up when a new batter comes to the fore, and we are not seeing these. And I put it down to the fact that it's a relatively new team, haven't had much time together, and the more cricket they play, it's only better they will get.
They do have a coach, though, Wilman. They do have a coach.
Yes,
and these are things that the coach should be instilling in the players. For example, the coach should be telling the players that the captain of the Guyana team. Here's another wicket as Ghaznabi is bowled, going on to the back foot and missing an off spinner there by Amanda Edwards and being bowled all over the place. So a good blow struck there by the Leeward Islands, now 55 for 3.
Yes, much the same how the second batter got out. Again, hitting across the off spinner, and like I said, if you're having a diagonal bat, a diagonal bat, you're more likely to miss. If you present a vertical face, you have 2.5 feet there. You must make contact. But instead, she was swinging and swung. She tried to swing it around again. She missed it and was bowled. Now, you said the Leewards have a coach or coaches. I know these coaches. And I can say that all that you're thinking about, they have said. Right? Well, not have been there. These guys.
Seems as though you were in conversation with the coaches prior to the start of the.
I would say no more, but the coaches, I believe they understand what the problems are.
I'm not too sure.
And they don't understand because these coaches are.
But that's just my opinion.
Yes, these are experienced guys, and I believe that they have applied all the necessary ingredients that that will bring Leeward some success. But for the young ladies, many things that they see and they're doing, it's new to them. They have not had the opportunity to play as many games as the opponents have. And that is why I believe we need to steal some information or borrow some information from the Windwards to ask them, how do you keep these girls together? You're from 4 different islands. How do you get together and gel and practice? And we need to learn that from the Windwards and apply to the Leewards.
Well, having said that, Vilman, at the same time, though, it seems as though the coaches, they have not been teaching running between the wickets. We have seen the Leeward Island batters throughout the tournament converting threes into singles, total reverse, and you know, one is left to wonder, you know. But that is just opinion at this point. As I welcome back, Joel. And but 55 for 3, Joel. 5.5 runs. The going rate at the moment. 39 needed from 60 balls. Guyana.
Let's play.
Yeah, time for the second half of this innings.
Of course, Campbell would be looking to get some runs on her belt here. She would be hoping that she could bat not out in this innings. She has not done very well with the bat in this tournament so far.
Yeah, probably the performances that she had not what she would have been hoping for. But another opportunity for her here at the crease. No. A good use of the feet from the skipper there. Yeah, and I certainly know, having mentioned what he did at the start in terms of what Guyana are currently playing for today, it will be a special moment if she can carry her batsroom and be there when the winning runs are struck. It probably might be an emotional moment for them as well, given the situation back home in Guyana, the reason why the flag is flying at half-mast and the reason why they're playing with the black armbands.
It's very difficult to detect, though. The Guyana uniform, of course, being predominantly black, but here's an opportunity for a run-out, but Mangu being able to regain the ground. And, of course, we do send our condolences to the Guyanese populace and, of course, the immediate families of those victims.
Nothing.
So, 56 wickets for 3. And, of course, the target being 95.
Nothing!
Just one run from that Richards over. 11 gone. It's 56 for 3.
Yes, a good over there from Richards, and the Leewards perhaps looking to tighten things a bit at this point. And but still, despite the fact that just one run from that over, the Guyana team going at a good rate. Still, they are going at 5 runs per over. And they just require another 4.22 runs per over. Another 38 runs from 54 deliveries. But Leewards fighting back, and a couple wickets here could really swing things around for them.
Well, that's not going to help. That's the boundary. The captain keeps the scoreboard ticking over.
Well, it helps Guyana for sure. That's a good shot by Campbell, and it certainly would do a confidence a world of good, but it was a poor delivery, badly lined and too short, and swung back with a square for 4.
What?
Now we see someone being placed on the deep backward square, long off, comes inside the circle. And there's a mid-wicket back on the boundary. There's a long on the boundary cover sweeping. And inside the circle, backward point, extra cover on mid-off. What a single here to Campbell. And as Richards comes some off the boundary to field. So 16.
That's center. Right arm over.
1 it is for 3.
Here we go, ladies.
And Perhaps some dot deliveries here could serve the Leewards well, but not if you're going to be bowling those sort of deliveries. This was swung into the mid-wicket region by Mangu for a single up to Zara Claxton, and we have not seen her in the attack in this match so far. Right arm opening bowler for the Leewards. But it is sensible batting by Campbell, just working it down to square leg for an easy single. This is something that the Leeward Islands failed to do, failed to work the ball around, work the ball in gaps, and pick up singles.
Oh, a deft touch on that occasion. Just gets them the one. But things coming quite easy now for Guyana.
Yes, of course, just gets them the one, but that is good cricket though. Just finding the gap, and as you rightly said, with a deft touch and picking up an easy single. Oh, this is good cricket.
Well, 5 singles and a boundary in that one. 9 from it. It's 66, or rather 65, sorry, for 3.
Yes, a very good over there for Guyana. And as you rightly said, every delivery from that over being scored from 5 singles and a boundary. And this is good batting by Guyana. And we have had some 12 overs completed, so easy sailing here for Guyana at this point.
The word of the night for Leeward Islands currently has to be pressure. Where can they build up that pressure from? Who can they turn to build up that pressure? What type of fields do they need to set to start to build pressure? Because at the moment, things are certainly going the way of Guyana, but as we know in a cricket game, anything can change it, especially pressure and especially wickets.
The Leeward Islands
Oh, and that's not going to help their case. We talked about building that pressure, and just another missed feeling. Just these small moments. We look at the fact that Grimman was dropped twice, and had she been taken when she was just on 2, how things could have probably looked different in terms of the start for Guyana. She went on to make 26. She was dropped again on 19 as well. Just these little moments in terms of the drop catches and the misfields. And you just wonder, had they been taken, had the fielding been up to standard, been on par, what type of position Guyana could have been in. Still some time though to pull themselves back into this encounter, but it will take everybody's effort here today.
There's been too many loose deliveries, and here's another one. Over pitch
Swept away. And good fielding out on the boundary. A bit of footwork to keep that one inside. It's just little moments like that, die-hard efforts where instead of it running to the boundary, it is just 2 moments where they stop one and make that a dot ball.
But there's been too many loose deliveries from the Leeward Islands. They've given away too many boundary balls. And they certainly, this has really put the pressure in their half. It's now 68 for 3. And Guyana certainly, they just have to knock the ball around and wait for the bad deliveries. But he's an easy single up to extra cover. And now 69 for 3. So Shemaine Campbell looking to get some runs on the belt. She's on 15 from 12. And a knock, which would do the world of good here today. If she can get a knockout and appeal for a leg before, as Campbell was looking to work it into the onside, missed it completely. But umpire Laborde does not support the appeal.
13 gone. It's 69 for 3 here in this final match of round number 3 in the CWA Women's T20 Blaze. A few spectators have made it out to take in tonight's action, and they've certainly treated as some good cricket here by both sides.
Yeah,
Bowler.
certainly, of
Right
course,
arm ball.
as you said, a few, just a sprinkling in the southern stands. But nevertheless, some spectators. I think some would be in the pavilion to our right also, the members' pavilion, the Calvin Wilkins pavilion. There would be a few spectators in that pavilion. But what I've been disappointed with, though, in these matches is the absence of school girls. I've not really seen any school girls being brought.
Oh, that one probably will challenge the boundary. It's pulled back inside. And no, but a good 3 runs being scampered by this pair. Energy shown. The skipper looks a woman on a mission here tonight.
Yes, very good running indeed by Campbell and Mangu. And really charging down and picking up the extra run, picking up 3 runs. But I was saying, one of my big disappointment going around, I know it's school time, examination time, but even on this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, you have not really seen any young girls around looking on at this match.
Back up!
You know, female cricket is growing worldwide, and we should try to encourage it as much as possible in these parts.
Yeah, he's certainly always looking at the next generation of cricketers to come through. And just taking away those required runs at the moment, this pair of Mangru and Campbell.
Mangu have heard a lot of, you know, I've not seen much of her, but she comes highly recommended as a player, one for the future. .74 for 3. And, in over number 14. Another 21 runs required by Guyana. Leeward, certainly trying hard for the Leewards, looking to get a breakthrough here. Couple wickets could certainly send some shivers up the Guyana's spine, the Guyana's team spine. This one is outside the off stump, maybe a bit harsh. The batter seemed to have moved across a bit, but umpire gave signal wide. And they tell you once the batter has moved, that red line would have moved also. Well, imaginatively, of course.
That's over.
Well, 14 gone. 75 for 3. Guyana.
75 for 3, another 21 runs. Sorry, another 19 runs required. Target, of course, being 19 runs from 36 deliveries. And certainly, Guyana very much on top at this point. We're going to have a bowling change from the far end, and Jazara Claxton comes into the attack. Somewhat belatedly, I think. And she's introduced from the far end, bowling right arm medium pacers.
Well, if there's any time that they need a stroke of magic or a stroke of luck, it is here and now with Leeward Islands. Just 19 runs needed now for Guyana from 36 deliveries. The youth of Jazar Claxton into the attack.
The policy of the Leeward Islands team, though, seems to be very much bent on defending as opposed to getting wickets. I've not seen too many attempts being made to try and force errors from the Guyanese batters. They have not really been putting fielders in place to take the catch. My good friend McCall earlier on was really pleading for a slip when the opening bowler Clark was bowling. One was not put in place. And perhaps for a few deliveries, they could have opted to use a four slip. Clark, of course, was getting some away movement from the batter and at times a bit of bounce. But there was no pressure applied to the batters. In the meantime, Guyana would have picked up another 2 runs.
Communication good between this pair. Since they've come to the crease, they've really done the job. Came together at 55 for 3. This pair and added some 33 runs in quick time as well, and that is almost what has taken the wind out of the sails, you would have to say, so far from the Leeward Islands. Is the fact that they've not just batted, but they've batted at a good pace, a good clip.
One of the shortcomings of the Leeward Island fielding team, though, is that the players seem to have very weak arms. And we have seen batters over the course of the tournament capitalizing on that and probably taking quick singles. That one was played to backward point a while ago to Richards. And she sent a rather tame return to the keeper's end. Quicker, flatter throw might have put some pressure on the batters. So there's lots of work to be done, not just by the Leeward Islands team. Of course, we're looking at them play at the moment, but generally, I think our female cricket needs a lot of work if we are going to catch up with the other teams on the international scene.
Uppish and taken. The wicket they were searching for, it's Mangru. She's dismissed. And maybe just a spark for the Leeward Islands.
Yes, maybe just a spark. It was taken there by, I think it was Claxton, a short extra cover. Ball played in the air straight to that fielder. And the catch was well taken, but 12 runs to get the asking rate 2.32. Perhaps a little late for the Leewards for them, but a good wicket nevertheless for Josiah Claxton to get, in fact, picking up her first wicket in this tournament, and she would be happy with that wicket. So it was in fact Amanda Edwards, the vice captain and extra cover, who took that catch. Ball played straight to her by Mangu, and Lee was picking up the fourth wicket. But somewhat of consolation for the Leeward Islands team. At least they're able to penetrate, at least they're able to pick up some wickets. And young Zara Claxton picking up her first wicket in this tournament. But it's Sherry and Fraser who is there at the crease. She bats left-handed, bowls right arm, medium paces, but of course she did not bowl in this match. No pressure being really applied to Fraser.
Well, she misses a full one. And height definitely not in question there. So wicket in that over. It's 15 gone. 82 for 4.
Yes, 82 for 4. 15 gone. But just another 12 runs to get. And Guyana is still very much on track.
Yeah, you would have to say that odds favor Guyana at the moment in this match. Strange things have always happened in games of cricket. So you just never know what a short burst could do for the Leeward Islands.
Yeah, that wicket a little too late in my view, but a wicket nonetheless. The Leewards giving Claxton the opportunity. I thought that should have been a little earlier, and she came up with at least a wicket. Just 21 runs to go, you say? 12 runs to go from 30 balls, and I always speak about the difference between balls required and the runs required and balls to be bowled. And once there is a big disparity, you know, there is no pressure. Everybody is easy. The batsmen are at ease. But when there's a small difference, there is some pressure.
Well, Clark is back to bowl her final over of this innings. 3 overs done for 11 so far. Still a bit of a wave movement for her. And certainly with these last 5 deliveries, we'll be hoping that she can maybe pick up 1, maybe pick up 2 for the Leeward Islands.
Yes, one would hope that she can work a miracle this evening. Delivery was well lined. Maybe trying not to go wide of off stump. She strayed slightly on the legs and get tucked into the onside. But when she lines up on off stump and with that little drift away, that little movement, seam away from the batsman, there is always need for a slip. And I've been saying that for quite a while. And I've looked at her. She seemed to have this natural inclination to have that ball going away from the bat. Maybe the surprise delivery will be one that's coming back inside into the batsman. Well delivered again. A few dot balls can, of course, help to create some pressure at this late stage. And you say maybe if 1 wicket, maybe 2, who knows?
Well, not many runs to get for Guyana, and subtract 1 more from that. 10 now needed for them for victory here.
But one would have to take some comfort, though, that the Leeward Islands, for some reason, they have had a new lease.
A chance for a run out. Fraser has to go. Leeward Islands, they will accept it. Is there hope yet in this fight?
Well, with 10 runs to go, Clark delivered a nice delivery. The batter was running toward the non-striker, and who didn't move, and she found herself short. And 5 wickets are down, 84 for 5 Guyana, and one would hope that Leewards could, having had this new energy that I've seen, a new attitude, and one would hope they can lift their game for the next 2 overs and see what could be done.
Whether or not it conks to the bowler or not, they will take whatever says out in the scorebook. The Leeward Islands 84 for 5 now. Guyana 10 runs from 26 deliveries.
Down middle.
All it needs a few dot balls and
Ball
some
at
pressure,
right arm over.
and bring the disparity between runs required and balls to be faced. Once there is a leveling of that equation, there could be pressure.
Well, facing the music now, Casey Schultz is at the crease.
There's nobody close to the wicket. No pressure from the fielders. And that did
And helping the cause again of Guyana, not making that adjustment in terms of left hand, right hand. You see that from time to time with bowlers, but in a stage like this, certainly can't afford to be giving away extras. 9 now needed.
That one was slow to the ear, am I right? It wasn't as quick as normal. Slow delivery, and well lined in my opinion. And Schultz could only defend.
She gets off the mark. To close out the 16th over, it's 86 for 5.
Guyana, from this position, could feel comfortable. Only if there's another wicket in the next over, then there will be some discomfort. But the balls that are available and the runs required, of course, there's a huge disparity. And Guyana can feel pleased that they have done their work, and they are in a position where they are comfortable. The Leewards, of course, would have learned some lessons from this game, I hope. And in my view, with the new attitude and new energies that they have, one would hope that they would go from strength to strength.
Subtract 1 more from that required total. 7 now needed, and add 1 more to the extras column.
Yeah, again, you know, I see the Leewards really wanting to win. They would like to do better. And in some cases, I don't think it's because they don't have the ability. I think the game in their heads may not be as right as it should be. It's a good dot ball. Sometimes you need to understand the psychology of it all as it relates to the game, the position. What sort of pressure to apply? How do you apply pressure? Bowling a wide ball in a situation like this is a no-no. A misfield, overthrows. And much of these could only come from experience, from when you play, more and more cricket you play, you will learn these things. But a coach repeating them to you, and you're not being able to apply them on the field doesn't say much. What the Leewards need, they need cricket. A lot more cricket than what they have played now. And I have seen some improvement. Looking back what happened last week and the week before, I have seen some improvement. And with which I think the coaches can work.
22 deliveries left in this match. Just 7 runs to get for Guyana. And make that 6 runs now. And certainly they'll be feeling as if this game now belongs to them.
The psychology of the game. How do you think about it? That's all that's missing.
Well, just walking it home now. Guyana.
5 runs needed. 5 runs. 5 runs required. 15 fours in this game so far today. Tazaria bowling from the Lozak Road end, and of course keeping things slightly quiet. I hope she doesn't go down the leg side and mess this thing up. But this has been a feature of the Leeward Islands game when there seemed to be everything going well and the pressure starting to build a wide ball. Beautiful delivery. Batter tight in defense and tuck it out to the short backward leg. And another dot. Still 6 runs required. 93 required, 89 for 5, Guyana, in response to Leeward's 93.
Yeah, 17 overs bowled in this encounter. 3 remain, 18 deliveries, 5 runs for Guyana to get. And
Charmaine Campbell, of course, with 21 of 22 sometime. At the crease, she have not had many scores or much time in the middle since the tournament began, and it's good to see her spend some time in the crease. 21 of 22.
Well, there's going to be Amanda Edwards back in the attack. She's bowled 2 so far, 1 for 15. They've employed a slip for the skipper, Charmaine Campbell. Showing that they're still looking here, showing that they've not given up the fight. Work to be done for deep mid-wicket. And she does it quite well. Not willing to take the risk is skipper Charmaine Campbell, and quite rightly so, as just 4 runs are needed for victory now.
No risk.
Subtract 1 more and make it 3. So almost at what you call the promised land, the land of milk and honey for Guyana.
It's no longer on the horizon, it's right at their doorstep. But this bowler should have been Edwards. Put away. Edwards applied a slip. And having applied the slip, she has been bowling deliveries short, being pulled, and I think she should have been more full of length, asking the batter to come forward and defend. And
well, this could be the game here. In fact, no, settle for the 1. In fact, no, going for it. And that will be it. A victory for Guyana. By 5 wickets over the Leeward Islands. They dedicated tonight's performance to those back home in Guyana who are mourning, and hopefully by some small stretch of the imagination, it's brought a smile to their tear-filled faces. Guyana victorious here, their 2nd win in this CWA Women's T20 Blaze, and what a moment it is for them.
Yes, a good victory for Guyana, and then given the situation at home, of course, this could bring some comfort to many Guyanese who are streaming and now online with us. Again, we'd like to extend our condolences to the immediate families of those who were directly affected, and to the nation of Guyana on the whole. Of course, no one likes disasters like that, and one would like to, extend our condolences to the entire Guyanese population.
Well, congratulations to Guyana. Victors here in the final match of round number 3 in the CWA Women's T20 Blaze, winning by 5 wickets. Well, that's the end of action. We're going to take a break tomorrow and return with more T20 Blaze action. So, thanks for joining us, and until Thursday, we'll see you then.